All right, so we are ready for some questions?
Yes, sir.
All right, hello heroes. Thank you. Do you think any of the Arab countries that were struck will actually strike back, or will they count on the U.S. and Israel to do this for them? I'm wondering the cultural dynamics playing into this decision, like losing face, appearing weak, or being peaceful during Ramadan. The Ramadan thing is interesting to me too.
Yeah. This is a big sin for this to be launched during Ramadan.
Mhm.
Um, my UAE contacts told me yesterday that they sent their ships out of port, not to fight, but just to protect them. We have not seen retaliation from the Arab states yet. And my guess is we probably won't, that they're going to let the US and Israel do their thing with some British air cover. And that's going to be it.
I agree with that completely. Donkey Man, do we think the war will last more than a month? I think it will.
Yeah, that's a great question. Donald Trump said yesterday it's only going to last a couple of days. He lives in a fantasy world if he thinks this is going to last a couple of days. I wouldn't be surprised if there are active US and Israeli hostilities for weeks. But yeah, I could see this lasting for a month. Sure.
I mean, especially if the Iranians bloody the Israelis or our noses in some way that we can't fathom, right?
That's
They
right.
get a missile gets through and I don't know blows up something that Israel or we care about a lot, and then there's a domestic concern that we can't just let it go.
That's right.
Okay, let's. Is Iran actually causing damage anywhere? Even with the numerous missiles fired, it doesn't seem to do much. Is Iran hoping for an off-ramp hope still? Oh, I'm sure they're hoping for an off-ramp.
The Israelis killed practically everybody. It's not just the Ayatollah, his daughter, son-in-law, and grandson. It's the entire Iranian military leadership was wiped out yesterday.
Yeah,
So the
head of
second and third
Revolutionary
string
Guard.
guys were.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, but is Iran actually causing any damage anywhere? Is the question.
Oh, not that I've seen. I mean, sure. Yeah. I mean, they fired rockets at Jebel Ali, the free port in Dubai. They've damaged Manama and Kuwait airports. They fired a rocket at the Saudi oil fields that was intercepted. A couple of hotels were damaged in Dubai.
No big deal,
There was
really.
Yeah, one rocket landed in Abu Dhabi. There's some damage, but absolutely nothing like what's being inflicted on Iran.
No question. It's definitely a one-way street there when it comes to that. But all they have to do is survive. Divya, do we think hitting Dubai hard would be beneficial for Iran right now because of all the American interests right now?
I think no, and I'll tell you why. Because that's where Iran does its business. Dubai is chock full of Iranian businessmen, and that's Iran's outlet to the Western world. That's how Iran evades sanctions, by having businesses in Dubai. So I think no, hitting Dubai is not going to help Iran at all.
John, during the Iraq War, Bush and Cheney, especially the latter, kept saying, "Oh, we're going to have cheap oil because of this." Turned out it went exactly the opposite way. I think I see a replay here. I think the real damage is going to be economic. I mean, high oil prices means high everything prices. This is a president who's trying to fight inflation more than anything else, right? I mean, that's the real risk to him.
That's right. That's exactly right. And it's not like Venezuelan oil is a panacea. It's not. It's filthy. It's heavy. You have to inject it with massive amounts of chemicals to clean it up just to make it into home heating oil. So Venezuela is not going to be the answer to our prayers. Oil prices are going to go up.
Sassen, we get such great questions. Thank you. You guys are great. What do you think is the impact of the death of Khamenei on the future of the regime in Iran? As an Iranian, I'm worried yet another extremist is chosen and the cycle continues on and on. Love the show. That, I think, is exactly what's going to happen.
I absolutely 100% agree. That is exactly what's going to happen. And the thing, too, is that I think that in the West, we seriously overestimated Ayatollah Khamenei's authority.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly, he was the final word on religious issues, certainly. But you can take him out and have literally nothing change.
It's like if you killed the Pope.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
No.
No, that's wonderful. I'm gonna repeat that.
Mace. Let's see. Reload. Please reload. What are you doing? Okay. Good morning, gentlemen. The sneaky part of my brain wondered how much of a beating Iran will suffer before finally unleashing their hypersonic missiles. I think they proved during their probing strike on Iron Dome that letting Israel and the U.S. burn through their limited arms supply, that patience is the best practice. Yeah, I mean, you learn that when you have 7,000 years of continuous culture, right? Also, why does the American government always imagine that killing a leader will end a war?
I know, right?
Ed, you mentioned the time frame Germany fought beyond Hitler. If Trump was killed today, nothing about our country's day-to-day would change. And somehow we expect other countries to be different. It's a childish mentality.
The New York Times just issued a push notification saying that the Iranian foreign minister says that a new supreme leader will be chosen in the next day or two. So there it is right there. Nothing changes. You can take out the Pope and there's just going to be another Pope.
Yeah, if you and I were in the Iranian leadership or any leadership that was besieged like this, we would say, we have to project continuity in order to maintain domestic control. I mean, they don't like the fact that there have been protests, and even if it is just 300 people, going, right. They don't like that. That's 300 too many. Regimes radicalize in times of war.
Yes, they do.
That's just sort of history. Hypersonic missiles. We got, do they exist? Are they real?
Oh yeah, they're real. The Russians have them. The Chinese have them. The Iranians have them.
The Iranians have them. That's what I mean.
The Iranians have them.
Exist. So yeah. So the Iranians are using their usual florid language as they do to say, like, today is going to be, we're going to unleash our doomsday scenario. Okay, maybe, but
yeah. No, but the danger of hypersonic missiles is they'll go 3 or 4 times the speed of sound. So you're dealing with a missile going 2,500 miles an hour. You can't defend against a missile going 2,500 miles an hour. And so maybe you can get it into, the Knesset building, or you can get it into the side of the USS Abraham Lincoln or something like that. And then, the West is going to have to deal with it. They don't have a lot of them. They only have a couple of them. And he was correct then when he wrote that book 25 years ago. He's correct today. The Iranians can shut the Strait of Hormuz. If I were the Iranian leader, I would shut the Strait of Hormuz. They're not gonna win a sustained bombing campaign, but over the long term, they live there. It's their neighborhood, and they can inflict real economic harm on the West.
Ted and John, thank Declan Brady. I love the show. Welcome your unbiased opinions and analysis. Why do you think Iran is attacking its neighbors? Surely as the aggrieved party, Iran needs all the support it can get. And how does hitting Dubai and Kuwaiti airports help their cause? Hope your comes through, John.
It's because there are 2 U.S. military bases in Kuwait. The headquarters of the American Fifth Fleet is in Bahrain. The world's largest U.S. Air Force base is in Qatar. 2 U.S. Army bases are in the Emirates. There are multiple U.S. military, both Army and Air Force bases in Saudi Arabia. So there's no love of Iran in these countries.
Well, exactly. I'm glad you said that there. I mean, I think that's the final calculus, John. These aren't their friends. They're not going to become friends. These are not none of these targeted countries are going to help the Iranians in any way, shape, or form. No. They're not even going to tweet on their behalf.
Absolutely not.
As someone who served in the Navy, Andy wants to know, this is very concerning for me. Do you think we'll need to put boots on the ground for this? Guys.
That right there is the $64,000 question.
It is.
So everybody at the White House, the Pentagon, and the State Department, and all the talking heads from Capitol Hill say that there will be no boots on the ground. That would be the death knell for the United States if we had to put boots on the ground and fight a country of 92 million people. I'm going to reiterate what you said yesterday, Ted, and that is that the U.S. and Israel have to win. The Iranians just have to survive, and that is much, much easier than winning.
Yeah, and they have the home field advantage, right? Like let's not forget that. Gonk, thanks for the $5. I'm intimidated. John looks pissed, rightfully so.
Yeah, I am actually. I'm pissed about this. This is a totally unnecessary war of choice.
Oh, I mean, it's one of the most boneheaded, and we have a lot of boneheaded wars. All of our wars are boneheaded for the most part. World War III not off the table. I'd say never. Things can always spin out of control.
Yeah.
Accident member for a month. Thank you so much. Is the only probable reason Turkey hasn't been hit because of NATO. If they're hit, it will trigger Article 5.
That's a good question too. That it could be. It could be that the Iranians, have more important things to worry about right now than Turkey. But sure, that could be it. And don't forget Azerbaijan, right? There is an Israeli base in Azerbaijan. The Israelis have drones pre-positioned there. The Azeris are very close to Turkey. So I wouldn't at all be surprised to see this expand to Azerbaijan. Not at all.
Who's actually driving 10 Australian dollars from Luminous? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Who is actually driving Iran policy in this administration? Is there a coherent interagency process? Or are Witkoff and Kushner
I can answer that.
Significant autonomy outside of normal National Security Council channels?
That's a great question. It's quite an important question. In a normal situation, there are two bodies called the Principals Committee and the Deputies Committee. The Principals Committee is chaired by the President, and it includes the Secretary of State, the Secretary of Defense, the National Security Advisor, the Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and the Director of the CIA. The Deputies Committee is the number twos for all those people. It's chaired by the Vice President. Normally, this policy would be coming out of the National Security Council. In this odd scenario that we're in right now, Marco Rubio is both Secretary of State and National Security Advisor. And so this is Marco Rubio's policy. We learned from this leak from the White House last week that J.D. Vance was opposed to an attack on Iran. Tulsi Gabbard was opposed to an attack on Iran. And the chairman of the Joint Chiefs came out and said that he was opposed to an attack on Iran. Who does that leave? Because the United States does anything and everything the Israelis tell it to do, even when it's not in U.S. interests to do so.
Yeah. So, I mean, why, though, is the question.
And the why is because of money in politics. That's really what this comes down to. Mm-hmm. Citizens United made it even worse. So Miriam Adelson could donate $150 million to the RNC Super PAC, and AIPAC can just spend people out of office by challenging them in primaries when they do the slightest thing that the Israelis don't like.
There's also other things, right? Israel is a tech hub, and the United States feels like, that alliance with the intel that we get from Israel is considered valuable. But also the Israelis lobby. They're spectacularly effective bullies. Mm-hmm. They smear everybody. Like, you criticize Israel, you're slimed as an anti-Semite. That's been their shtick forever. And up until very recently, it still worked. It's finally, the spell is broken, but I mean, there's more to it than that. But what do you think, John?
Yeah, I think that's it. And I think this may be what breaks the spell. If the Israelis suck us into a war, a longer term war, rather than just a few days of bombing, we're in trouble, and we're going to have to seriously, as a country, reassess this relationship. That's a great question. I would say probably not. Now, granted, my information is dated, but to have the CIA paramilitary on the ground to carry out targeted killings, the president would have to assert that a person is what's called a clear and present danger to the United States, to an American installation, and to an American person. And I don't think we're there.
What do you think of what Tucker said about this revealing perhaps some sort of super government like SUPRA, mm-hmm. where he said the people that you thought were the highest actually just work for the people who work for the people that are the highest?
Isn't that the truth? I think he's onto something. You know, Tucker's another guy who has been very deliberate about all this. He was never one to jump on rumor. He was always one of the guys who demanded to see evidence before he took a position. And I think even he is shocked by what has been released. And, you know, there are a million other little strings that haven't been pulled yet. Don't forget, there are still reportedly between 3 and 3.3 million documents that have not yet been released.
Yes.
That Pam Bondi has said won't be released. She's going to defy a bill passed 419-1 in the House and 99-0 in the Senate and signed by the president. And she's just going to say, no, I'm not going to do what the bill commands me to do and release these documents.
Do you think she's saying that, or that's coming from above her?
It has to be coming from above her. It has to be. One of these little strings that I've been trying to focus on involves Catherine Remler, who was the Obama administration's White House counsel.
11,500 emails.
First of all, what the fuck, right? Like, does she do nothing all day long as the White House counsel other than chit chat with Jeffrey Epstein? Number one. Number two, there's one email that she sent him saying, John Brennan, the CIA director, gave me the CIA's highest honor today. Pretty cool, huh? Or pretty great, huh? And then she tries repeatedly to set up a lunch between Jeffrey Epstein and John Brennan. Why? To what end? And there's a bigger question here too, and that is, what kind of judgment did these people exercise? This woman is supposed to be the president's personal legal advisor, his personal attorney, and this is what she's doing. And I have a theory that I'm confident about. Why would she be so close to John Brennan of all people? Because every Tuesday morning at 7 o'clock, John Brennan chaired the Kill List meeting. And we know that the Kill List committee was chock full of attorneys, White House, NSC, CIA, DOJ, just to make sure that, yeah, you can legally go out and just kill these people this week. And then we'll meet up again on Tuesday and come up with another list of people to kill. She was on the Kill List committee. I'm confident of it. So she's either murdering people or she's chit-chatting with Jeffrey Epstein. Again, what kind of judgment do these people have? And then where did she go? She became the general counsel at Goldman Sachs.
That's right.
At least they had the presence of mind to say, you got to go. You can't survive this.
I will say this. They should have done that a few years
ages ago when it was first released that she was in touch with Jeffrey Epstein. You're absolutely right.
That's right. And like, you know, there's just there's revelations of people that had stronger relationships to the point that you know they were personally in his life. And I want to come back to Rumler in a minute because that's a big story. But like Lawrence Krauss, I've said this a million times, sat in that chair 2 years ago. Got connected to him through someone else that was on the podcast. He's a physicist. And then when he was coming in here, we knew he had known Jeffrey Epstein. I asked him about it on the podcast. He was a nice enough guy. He's got 7,500 emails with Jeffrey Epstein. So like, I'd love to be like, you know, and usually like I have a policy of not really talking against like people who have been in here and stuff like that. It's just like a part of the job. Let other people do that. But journalistically, like you have to do this. And I'm not planning on reaching out to Lawrence to ask him about this or whatever. But when you are coordinating with someone that much over all these years, and we found out he was trying to get Jeffrey Epstein on the Joe Rogan Experience in 2017.
Oh my God.
You know, it's like, you know, bro. At that point, you know, and he said in the past, he was quoted as saying like, you know, well, I only ever saw Jeffrey around young women who were 21 or 22, so I assumed that I believed him, took him at his word when he said he wasn't.
Funny, because that's exactly what Peter Mandelson said.
Yeah.
Until the picture was released of him in his underwear with a 16-year-old, not realizing that he was being photographed.
That's right.